So in the month of June, I received 9 dividend payments from some of my favorite companies like Visa and Snap-on. And in this video, we're going to go through each of those payments and add them all up to reveal my dividend income for the month, as well as my total income received so far in 2024. But before we get to those, I want to hear from you. Leave me a comment below and let me know which stocks paid you a dividend this month. I'd be curious to hear if we have any of the same ones. Anyway, guys, getting into the first payment I received in June, we are kicking it off with Visa here, who paid me $7.75 for the month. And if we take a look at my Visa position over here on my dividend portfolio tracking spreadsheet, which you can start using for free. There is a link to download the spreadsheet in the description of the video. But here we can see I have almost 15 shares of Visa at an average cost of $272.33. So right now I'm seeing a little bit of a loss, but it's nothing too crazy. Looking at both the share price returns and the total returns, I'm down somewhere between 2 and 2.5%. So definitely nothing I can't recover from. And in fact, right now would be a good time for me to add a little bit more to Visa, which is something that I've been wanting to do. I really want to make this the largest individual stock position in my portfolio. But as of late, I've just been busy buying some other things that I'm also down on, like Starbucks is one that I've been buying a lot of lately. And so is this next stock here, which brings us to the second dividend payment I received in June. This one came from Johnson & Johnson, who paid me a really nice $41.15 for the month, bringing our total so far in June to $48.90. And Johnson & Johnson is really getting down there, guys. If we take a look at the share price performance over here on Seeking Alpha, it's been pretty flat in the last month. They're only up about 0.75%, so that's not too bad. But looking at the year-to-date performance, J&J is down about 6.2%, so a little bit of a drop there. And then in the last year, they're down about 10%, which is going to leave Johnson & Johnson just a hair above their 52-week low. And then looking at my J&J position, this is one of my largest in the portfolio. I have 35.66 shares at an average cost of $159.21. So with the current share price, about $146.80. Looks like I'm down quite a bit, guys. I'm down 7.8% in terms of share price, but it's really nothing too crazy looking at the total return. I'm only down about 3%. And since I'm down in the red on this position, like I said earlier, I have been taking the opportunity to add more to it. I ended up picking up a couple more shares throughout the month of June and will probably continue to do so in July here and there. But with that, moving on to the third dividend payment I received in June, this one came from Southern Company, who paid me $12.86, bringing the total so far to $61.76. And Southern Company's share price has pretty much been doing the opposite of Johnson & Johnson. I mean, in the last month, this one's down a little bit, only down about 0.5%, but if we look at the year-to-date performance, Southern Company is up close to 11%, which is really nice to see. And in the last year, they're up about the same, 9.75%, or it looks like it just dipped down to about 9% there. But either way, still looking good. And as opposed to Johnson & Johnson, Southern Company is one of the smallest positions in my portfolio. I think it's only about 2.3% of the total portfolio, whereas Johnson & Johnson is somewhere up above 8%, maybe close to 8.5%. And looking at my position here, I have about 17.9 shares of Southern Company at an average cost of just about $60 per share. So I'm seeing a pretty decent gain with this company. Just looking at the share price, I'm up 29%, but the total return is a lot better. I'm up 43.65%. So thank goodness for those dividends. But anyway, jumping over to payment number 4, this one came from one of my favorite dividend growth stocks. We're talking about Snap-on, who paid me $16.70 in June, bringing the total so far to $78.46. And Snap-on's actually been taking quite the hit lately. Just in the last 30 days, Snap-on is down about 3.6%, and looking at their year-to-date performance, they are down just about 10%. So quite a big drop for Snap-on. And then in the last year, this is going to leave them with an 8.6% decline, and they're really not too far off there from their 52-week low. And with this pullback, I actually think Snap-on is looking like a pretty decent buy right now, and this is one that I'm definitely going to be keeping an eye on in this upcoming month, because if this pullback continues, if we see the share price continue to go down just a little bit more, I'd like to start adding to Snap-on again. It's been a long time since I've been able to buy shares at what I think is like a reasonable valuation. And this is where I'm sitting with Snap-on right now. Even with this pullback, I'm still doing pretty well. I have about 9 shares at an average cost of $211, which is still like $50 below the current share price. So the gain is pretty nice right now. I'm up 23.7% just looking at the share price returns. And then on a total return basis, I'm up 31%. So I'm still seeing a pretty nice gain. So even though it is still quite a bit above my current cost basis, if we see Snap-on get into the low 250s or maybe even the $240 range, I think objectively that would be a pretty decent buying opportunity. So that's one that I would like to take advantage of, but we'll see what happens with the share price moving forward. Anyway, moving on, guys, this brings us to the 5th dividend payment I received in June. This one came from Chevron, who paid me $31.41. Really nice dividend payment from these guys, but this is going to bring my total so far for the month officially across the 3-figure mark. Right now, I'm sitting at $109.87. And overall, my Chevron position's looking pretty good right now. I have 19.25 shares of this company at an average cost of $112.13. So I'm seeing a pretty decent gain still. Looks like just in terms of share price, I'm up 40.6%. And then on a total total return basis, including dividends, I'm up 53%. And then with that, jumping over to payment number 6, guys, this one came from the monthly dividend company. We're talking about Realty Income, who paid me $26.29 in June, bringing the total so far for the month to $136.16. And I'll tell you guys what, Realty Income has been teasing us for months now. If we look at the current share price, it's sitting in the low 50s, and it's been here pretty much all year long. I mean, in the last month, Realty Income's down about 1% there, but if we look at the year-to-date performance, this is what I'm talking about. I mean, overall, they're down 8.8%, but right in here, guys, we can see pretty much since February, it's been flat, and it's really been teasing us. I really want to see it get down below $50 per share, but it's definitely hovered in that low to mid $50 per share range. And then taking a quick look at my position, I have just over 100 shares of Realty Income at an average cost right there in the mid 50s, 54.45. So right now I'm seeing a little bit of a share price loss, but nothing too crazy. It looks like I'm down about 3.75%, but on a total return basis, including dividends in the calculation, I'm still up 5%. And then moving on, guys, to payments number 7 and 8. These both came from Main Street Capital Corporation. So first and foremost, in the middle of June, I received the regular dividend from Main Street for $13.50. And then later in the month, towards the end of June, I received a special dividend for the month for $16.88, both of which are really nice. And this is going to bring my total so far in June to $166.54. And Main Street really has been crushing it all year long, and June was another really solid month for them. If we take a look at the share price performance, Main Street's up about 4.75% just in the last 30 days. Really solid, but zooming out, looking at the year-to-date performance, they're up almost 19%. So a really nice gain so far in 2024. And then zooming out once more, in the last year, Main Street is up about 34%. So like I said, they've just been crushing it. And this performance is going to leave my position in a really great spot. I have 56.25 shares of Main Street at an average cost of $40.66. So it looks like I'm up about $10 per share, which is going to leave me with a near 25% share price return. And looking at the total return, including dividends, it's up a lot more. I'm up about 42%. Anyway, guys, now moving on to payment number 9. This one came from the other business development company in my portfolio, who also paid me a special dividend in June. This one was from Blue Owl Capital Corporation, and this special dividend was for $5.82. And as opposed to Main Street, Blue Owl actually has had a pretty cruddy month. This company is down almost 7% just in the last 30 days, so a pretty big decline there, but they're still looking good year to date. They're still up 5.4%, and then looking at the last year's performance, they're still up 17.25%. And with that performance, my position is still looking pretty good. I mean, I have 116.4 shares of Blue Owl at an average cost of about $13.50 per share, so things are looking good there. And if we slide over looking at my returns, just looking at the share price, I'm up 14.5%, and on a total return basis, it's a lot better. Those dividends really come in clutch with Blue Owl. I'm up almost 41%. But anyway, guys, with this special dividend from Blue Owl, that's going to bring my total dividend income for the month of June to $172.36, which is about a 0.5% higher compared to this time last year. In June 2023, I brought in $171.59. So I'll take that slight gain. I guess progress is progress. And truth be told, I was expecting to bring in a bit more dividend income this month than I did, and that's because I was expecting to receive a dividend payment from SCHD towards the end of June, but it looks like they will be paying at the beginning of July, which is just fine. It all works out in the end, and that's going to be a pretty sweet payment, as we'll see in just a moment. But then, guys, with all this dividend income from June, that's going to bring my total dividend income so far in 2024 to $1,254.42, which is a near 20% year-over-year increase compared to 2023. For the first 6 months of last year, I only brought in $1,045.81, so we are making some great strides. And with that, now that we've taken a look at all of my dividend payments from this month, I want to switch gears and show you which companies are going to be paying me in this upcoming month here in July. And to do this, we are going to be looking at the dividend calendar tool over on GetQuinn, which outside of my spreadsheet is hands down my favorite portfolio tracking tool. And if you guys are looking for something with more features and functionality than your standard spreadsheet to track your portfolio, I highly recommend you check out GetQuinn. I think you'll really love it. This has one of the best looking interfaces I've ever seen, and it's a great tool for keeping track of all your portfolios, all of your holdings, and all of your dividend payments in one place. You can automatically sync everything right here within the platform. And the best part is you can use GetQuinn for free. There is a link to it in the description of the video. Like I said, I highly recommend you guys check it out. I think you'll really love using it. But anyway, now taking a look at all of my dividend payments for July, like I said, SCHD is going to be paying at the beginning of the month, actually on the very first day of the month. They'll be paying me $66.38. So that's going to be a fantastic payment. I actually think this is going to be my highest dividend payment of all time, so that's very exciting. And then also on the first, I'll be getting an $11.27 payment from Coca-Cola. So we're going to kick off July with a bang. And then the next day, it looks like VU will be paying a dividend. That's going to be coming in at about $15 for me, so that's really nice. And then moving forward, the next payments come on July 10th. We've got a really nice one from KRC, $41.58, and then another really nice one on the same day from Altria Group, just over 55 cents. So this is going to be another really solid day of dividends. But then scrolling up just a little bit, it looks like we have quite a handful of payments to end the month coming in on the 15th of July, midway through the month. We have one from Main Street Capital Corporation, $13.79. We've got another one. This is Blue Owl's regular dividend payment. This is going to be for about $43. We have another nice payment coming in from WP Carey on the 15th, $33.15. And then to end the month, also on the 15th, we have our monthly Realty Income payment coming in at $26.34. And then if we add up all of these dividend payments for July, guys, this is going to bring the total to $305.60. This will be a couple milestones. This will be the first time that I have ever seen over $300 in dividends for 1 month, which is very exciting. And with that said, this is also going to be my highest month of dividend income ever. So July is shaping up to be just a crazy month of dividends. I'm really excited for it. And with that, if you're in the market for some deeply discounted stocks, then check out this next video right over here where I'm telling you about 3 of them, all of which look like great pickups right now as we fly into July. So click right over here to check those out, and I'll see you in the next one.